Well, 950 million people use Telegram every single day, and the man who built it just took direct personal control over the blockchain. Tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what that means for Toncoin and why the chart is telling a very specific story and what level I'm watching before I make a move. I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. We've got a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get into it. And before we touch a chart, let me set the table because two things are happening simultaneously right now that your average crypto channel is treating as separate stories, and they're not. Bitcoin's holding above 80,400 right now. Institutional ETF flows extending the rally into early May. Total crypto market cap added was 17 billion since yesterday's close. Risk is on. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 61.33, right at the 382 Fibonacci resistance with bearish divergence building. The dominance rollover setup is there, but not confirmed. For Ton and the alts to sustain a multi-week run, dominance needs to break over 60.42% on a daily close. That's a gate. Until that breaks, Bitcoin is still pushing the majority of capital. The Clarity Act markup is 6 days away, week of May 11th. That's the most important week for crypto regulation in years, and there's 6 days. Now here's the story nobody is connecting. On May 4th, Pavel Durov posted 2 words that changed everything for Toncoin Network. His exact words: fees in Ton have dropped 6 times to nearly zero. Next step, Telegram replaces the Ton Foundation as the driving force behind Ton and becomes its largest validator. The focus shifts to tech superiority, new Ton.org developer tools, new performance upgrade timeline, 2 to 3 weeks. Now let me translate that for the guy at the feed store. Telegram has 950 million monthly active users. That's more people than the United States, Europe, and Canada combined. And the man who built it just took direct personal control of its blockchain. Trading volume on Ton exploded over 600% in 24 hours to $664 million. Ton meme coins went with it. Dogs up over 100%. And here's the number most people are missing. Ton is still more than 77% below its all-time high of $8.25. That's the setup, and that's why we're here tonight. And before we touch a single chart, here's the receipts. April 6th, I called distribution at 70,321. April 7th, the daily 50 smooth moving average at 68,259 is the next target. Price bottomed at 65,681. Gate 3 of the 4-layer framework kept us out of that entire drop. ICP daily RSI hit 0. I called it a buy signal. The same signal called Bitcoin's bottom at 59,836. And XRP February low at $1.12. That's not luck, guys. That's the framework. Every call is documented. And a quick update on the $100 challenge. Live account, no added capital. Balance of 243.44. Trade 24 entered long at 76,176. We've hit 3 take profits already. The runner's still live, targeting the weekly 50 smooth moving average at 82,474. Stop at break even. It's a free trade. Every entry, every exit documented inside the crypto school. I do all 80% of all of my trading on BloFin. It's the only exchange that didn't go down during the October 10th flash crash. $7,000 trading competition running all of March. Top prize $2,800. Sign up through the link in my description. You're already automatically entered into the pool. And if you want to skip the learning curve, directly search the Crypto Cowboy in the BloFin Copy Trading tab. And if you're not subscribed, hit that button right now. Clarity Act markup hits the week of May 11th. That's 6 days away. And I'll be here every night walking you through it. Don't miss it. And let me tell you the full story on what just happened to Ton, because most channels are treating this as a price alert, and it's not. It's a structural shift. Here's what actually happened in the last 30 days leading up to this move. April 9th, Cat Chain 2.0 upgrade was activated. Block generation time dropped from 10 seconds to 400 milliseconds. And to put that in plain English, Ton is now the fastest layer 1 blockchain in existence. Not one of the fastest, the fastest. The Revolut opened its 70 million user app to the Ton tokens in the same window. Then May 1st, transaction fees on Ton dropped to 0.0005 per transfer. That's nearly 1,000th of a dollar, near zero. May 4th, Durov makes the announcement Telegram takes over as the main driving force and becomes the largest validator. He staked 2.2 million Ton to back it up. That's real money. This is not a roadmap. This is a white paper. This is not a white paper. This is a company with 950 million users putting their stake on the line to run the network directly. And here's the piece that ties it all together. Telegram already accepts Ton as the only cryptocurrency for Telegram Premium, Telegram Stars, Telegram Ads, and mini app developer payouts. 950 million users, near zero fees, the fastest L1 on the planet. The company that runs the app now, running the chain, that's not a news spike, that's a structural change. Now here's what Chain Alchemy community tracks on this. Top 100 whale wallets accumulated 1,830 ton in 3 months before this move. They knew. Smart money always knows before the headlines. That's the tinfoil cowboy hat playing out in real time. The price action told you before Durov posted a single word. And now let's move into the charts, zoom out to the weekly, and here's what you're looking at. Ton is coming from one of the deepest discount zones in history. The weekly Fibonacci from the all-time high of $7.26 down to the cycle low of 0.548 puts current price right near the 382 Fibonacci at 178.8. The week's candle just cleared it. Volume this week, 96.3 million. That's the highest weekly volume on the reading on this entire chart. That's not retail noise. That's institutional participation. The weekly stochastic RSI. K at 87, D at 80, recovering from the cycle forward, not overbought on the weekly. Significant room to run on the higher time frames. The weekly cipher money flow at 22,939, the strongest positive reading in over a year. Two confirmed bull signals at the cycle low. And the weekly structure is technically still bearish. Lower highs and lower lows from the all-time high, but this week's candle is making an incredible attempt at the first weekly higher high. A weekly close above 178 that holds next week confirms the shift. First resistance above 248.9 and the weekly 382, then 387.5. The golden zone sits between 466 and 577.8. And if this thing really runs, the weekly extension targets are $9 to $11. That's the full bull cycle map if the thesis plays out. The daily tells you everything you need to know about timing. RSI on the daily is pegged at 100. Maximum reading possible. That's a caution flag, and I want to be straight with you about it. RSI at 100 on a news-driven spike means momentum is as strong as it can mathematically get. But it also means a cooling period is coming. History says when the daily RSI pegs at 100, it either consolidates laterally for several days while RSI cools off, or it goes back to fill the gap. The cipher money flow at 0.928 is barely positive despite the price explosion. That divergent price up hard while money flow barely confirms is the signal to watch. Every daily moving average is stacked below price. The entire MA stack was below 160 before this move. Price ripped from 134 to 193 in a single session without touching the single moving average. That gap below needs to close at some point. The daily golden zone sits above, sits between 254 and 308. That's a swing target once the daily RSI cools. And before the 4-hour chart, most people spend their whole trading career building a tax bill instead of wealth. Every time you take a profit or outside of a retirement account, the IRS is your partner, whether you invited them or not. A Bitcoin IRA through iTrust Capital means your gains grow tax-deferred or completely tax-free. You're not just buying Bitcoin, you're protecting it. Not because they're a sponsor, but because it's the right move for anybody serious about the long game. There's a $300 sign-up bonus when you use the link in my description. Go ahead and check it out. And now the 4-hour is where the entry story lives. Price at 192.2 right now. The 4-hour RSI at 92.62, near maxed, K above D. The 4-hour cipher money flow at 79.171, the highest reading on this chart. The entire move from 121 to 193.9 happened in 1 to 4 hour candles. In 1 to 4 hour candles. Here's the Fibonacci drawn from the base of the $1.12 to the high of $1.93. There are your pullback zones if it retraces. The 786 fib at 177.4 is the shallow retracement, barely touches it and resumes. The 4-hour golden zone sits at 163.4 to 177.4. That's the primary re-entry zone on any pullback. That zone was resistance throughout the entire consolidation period. Before the breakout, it should act as support on a retrace. The 382 Fibonacci at 143.8 is the last line of real support. Below that, and the thesis starts to come into question. Extension targets above the 1272 at 217.8 and 248.9 were weekly 382 fib, and the 4-hour 16.8 extension cluster together. That's $2.17 to 248 zone is the highest probability swing target from this move. And here's the honest read. I'm not chasing $1.92 right now. Daily RSI at 100 on a vertical one candle move is not the system. The system says wait for the setup. Daily RSI cools towards 70 to 75. Price pulls back to the 4-hour golden zone at 163.4 to 177.4. 4-hour stochastic RSI K crosses below D from max pullback confirmed. Then the 15-minute K crosses back above D from oversold. That's the entry trigger. Stop below 143.8. Targets 217.8 and 248.9. That's the trade, not this candle, that candle. The whale flow data, the live trade alerts, the 4-layer framework taught from the ground up, that's all inside the Crypto School Discord. The community is in there tracking tons of moves in real time. The link is in the description. Come find us. And here's the second subscribe ask right here. ICP Cloud Engine Demos is May 10th. Clarity Act markup is May 11th. It's a big week. I'll be here every night. Don't miss it. And you've got 2 roads from here. Road 1 is the bull road. Telegram delivers the 2 to 3 week roadmap on schedule. Newton.org, new developer tools and performance upgrades. Bitcoin dominance breaks below 60.42 on a daily close. Ton consolidates at 180 to 190. Daily RSI cools and resumes higher towards 217.8 and 248.9. If that happens, I might not get the pullback to 163.4. That's the cost of discipline. But if the Telegram delivers, this is the start of a multi-month move. Road 2 is the bear road. Telegram misses the 2 to 3 week delivery window. Daily RSI at 100 triggers the pullback. Price fills the gap towards the 4-hour golden zone at 163.4 to 177.4. Smart money uses that pullback to accumulate the re-entry triggers on the 15-minute. Stop below 143.8. Thesis stays intact as long as $1.12 holds. Either road, the 2 to 3 week Telegram delivery clock is the most important to watch. Not the price, the milestones. And we're going to close it out tonight, just like we do with the spiritual closer. Every single night. Tonight comes from Matthew, chapter 25, verse 23. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Tonight we talked about a man who built something used by 1 billion people and put his personal stake on the line to see it through. I don't know what Pavel Durov believes, but I know what that looks like. Somebody who built something real and didn't walk away from it when it got hard. That's the principle that goes a lot deeper than a blockchain. Whatever you're building right now, the ranch, the business, the family, the account, show up for it the same way. Be faithful in the small things, and the big things take care of themselves. God gets the credit for this channel, and God gets credit for whatever comes next. Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you down the road.